Hi, this is Sherry with Dive Creations, and the last stop on our incredible expedition was to the magical island of Bali. We flew from Sorong, Indonesia to Bali via the city of Makassar. We flew Lion Air from Sorong to Makassar. While we were flying, we were given this familiar box and we got all excited because it was KFC and we're thinking, great, chicken and fries. However, it was one piece of chicken with a big ball of sticky white rice. After a layover in Makassar, we flew Garuda Air to Bali. Arriving in Bali, we crossed over these incredible rice fields everywhere. Everywhere we looked, there was a rice paddy. Arriving in Bali, we were met by a representative from Aquamarine. We were driven through crowded streets, and while driving through each town, we saw many interesting sights and so many motorbikes. We came across this motorbike with a familiar Terminex sign on it, and it just made us laugh. We had to capture that picture. The island of Bali is approximately 8 degrees south of the equator, and it has a central mountain chain with several peaks over 3,000 meters in elevation. The highest peak is Mount Agung, which is 3,142 meters. It is known as the Mother Mountain, which is a very active volcano. Bali's volcanic nature has contributed to its exceptional fertility, and its tall mountain ranges provide the high rainfall that supports the highly productive agricultural sector. Bali's main crops are rice, coffee, and many different kinds of vegetables. We would pass through village after village, and there were always these little shops or stands for selling whatever might be needed. People everywhere, along with all the motorbikes and dogs. In 1981, the government of Indonesia decreed that all forms of gambling, including cockfighting, would be illegal. So popular has cockfighting been in Bali for so many decades that it is about as realistic to tell a Balinese man that he cannot participate in his favorite sport as it is to tell the sun not to rise. Concealing cockfights from the law is not very difficult at all. It is illegal to possess drugs or firearms, but not chicken. People are not arrested for carrying a chicken down the road. Cockfighting is the slot machine or the bingo game of the third world. It also has a religious significance. The island is home to most of Indonesia's small Hindu community. About 93% of Bali's population practices Balinese Hinduism. The rest follow Islam. One important function of offerings is as a means of communicating between man and the gods. Higher deities are given offerings that emphasize the beautiful and tasteful side of life. Flowers, fruits, leaves, placed in containers of coconut leaf. Every morning and every evening, new sacrifices were placed in altars, around homes, outside of shops, along the streets. Some altars were even high above the streets. But there's another side, the impish, lustful, impetuous, greedy, unpredictable, and capable of causing harm to those who interfere with them. These lower spirits live on or near the ground, and they are just as capable of helping and protecting their human neighbors as they are causing sickness, accidents, or the loss of a prized possession. These gods require animal sacrifice, and blood must be poured on the ground. This is where cockfighting comes in. The losing cock contributes his blood for this purpose. At one of the resorts we stayed at, we went out walking around the town and came across this lily pond. We had read about it in a tourist book, but we were rather disappointed because none of the lilies were out. We had to discover the hard way that lilies only came out early in the morning. School children marched through the streets in many areas we passed with such military precision. Balinese culture has been strongly influenced by Indian, Chinese, and particularly Hindu culture. This began around the 1st century AD. It is renowned for its highly developed arts, including traditional and modern dance, sculpture, painting, leather, metalworking, and music. This was one of the traditional beach restaurants that we found in Bali. These are set up for the tourists. Thatched roofs, kind of rough wood benches and chairs. Very nice, relaxed overall, and then beautiful beaches all along, and restaurants and bars and things all along these beaches. These were our boats, some of the boats that we went out on for diving. These are some of the islands just off of Bali that you could go and dive around. And the terraced rice paddies that Bali is so famous for. Our 5 days in Bali passed us by too fast. We spent most of our time on the east side, and most of that was spent diving. There's so much to Bali that we didn't even get a chance to experience or to see. There's a whole art culture, music culture that we would love to experience, but gotta have the time to do that. Bali is well worth a trip. Concentrate on diving for a couple days, then go inland and see some of the rest of the culture and the rest of what the island has to offer. We thoroughly enjoyed our stay in Bali, and we would love to get back and see more of what the island has to offer.